Hi there, I'm Magic Flying Sheep, and the game we're going to review in this video is Kuroniku Bold Up. I will be going through the premise of the game, visuals, music and sound, gameplay, and more. I'll also be showing parts of my stream playthrough during the review. And now, without further ado, let's begin. Set in modern times, you play as the heir of Bakso, a meatball noodle restaurant. After picking your character's gender, you bump into Stella, and your story begins. Kuroniku has very beautiful art, from the backgrounds to the different characters and their CGs. The personalities of the characters can be seen just from how they are designed. For example, you can tell that Ume is very introverted, while Stella is very extroverted and loud. Each character is unique and has their own story arc, which unfolds as you interact with them more throughout the game. The UI is clean and simple, making it easy to understand what you need to do. The kitchenware and ingredients look so delicious that every time I play Kuroniku, I start drooling and I wish I had a bowl of noodles too. The hangout spots around town look great as well. You can tell that a lot of love and care was put into designing the world and characters. The music in Kuroniku is enjoyable and pleasant to listen to. I enjoyed the music from the beginning to the end. I especially like the track that plays when I choose to hang out with the characters and deepen our friendship. The music for Meatball Brawl felt epic, the restaurant management theme felt relaxing, and even the resting theme made me sleepy. There's definitely music for almost every occasion. The story of Kuroniku is an enjoyable one. You play as the heir to a restaurant known as Bakso after your grandmother passes away. Your goal is to make a Bakso the #1 restaurant in Kuroniku. Along the way, there is a bigger overarching plot that reveals itself, along with small twists as you progress. No spoilers here, the story of Kuroniku doesn't take itself too seriously, as there are often situations where characters do something outrageous, like Ume talking to her parents and then suddenly there's an avalanche. However, that doesn't mean it's all goofy. There are parts where the story gets a little serious and it hits you with the feels. If anything, I would compare Kuroniku to the anime Gintama, where the general vibe is fun and goofy, but when the situation calls for it, the emotional moments can hit hard. I love the main story and the character stories to bits. And now, onward to the gameplay. At its core, Kuroniku's gameplay has you cooking noodles based on your customers' orders. You'll need to choose the right ingredients to cook in the broth, along with the correct seasoning and toppings if there are any. You can bring up the menu or the customer's specific orders at any time while cooking for them. You also need to balance the different tastes such as sweet, salty, spicy and sour, according to the customer's preference. At the beginning, the orders are simple and straightforward, but they become more complex as you progress through the game. Customers can have custom orders that are not on the menu, adjust menu items with specific requests like no meatballs or noodles, or ask for additional items. And don't think it just stops at noodle cooking. There'll be more unlocks later in the game where you will need to wash your used utensils or fry ingredients. There are certainly more ways to serve your customers as you progress. The earnings from each day can be spent at Ume's shop on new ingredients or upgrades. They can also be used to buy decorations to spruce up your restaurant to your liking. There are so many beautiful decorations that I couldn't help but to buy them all. Once the day is done, you can choose to talk to various characters to build a relationship with them or hang out with them to deepen your bonds. These outings not only increases your relationship level, but also show you the characters' individual stories. This is where the story can get serious and hit you in the feels. Lastly, do you want to increase Bakso's ranking? Then you gotta go for the ranked Meatball Brawl. Meatball Brawl is a turn-based one-on-one mode where you and your opponent have a cooking showdown in a similar style to an Iron Chef competition, with judges that they certainly didn't kidnap off the streets. Cooking in Meatball Brawl is vastly different from the usual gameplay. You will need to manage your scores from the judges by giving them ingredients that they like and avoiding the ones they dislike. You have 3 actions per turn to maximize your score, and you only get 3 turns. The scoring begins after both you and your opponent have taken all 3 turns. Win, and you go up to the next rank. Lose, and you lose all the fame you have built up for that specific ranking. You will need to regain all that fame before you can challenge the opponent again. Overall, I really enjoyed Kuroniku Bold Up. I couldn't stop playing because I wanted to find out more about the story and learn more about the individual characters. I prioritize spending time with the characters over progressing through the main story, which shows how lovable and precious the characters are. However, as much praise as I have for Kuroniku, it isn't perfect. My main issue came after finishing the main story. At that point, I still wanted to complete the character stories, but I had to keep going through the daily cooking routine just to pass time. The cooking itself is fun, but once money, upgrades, and decorations no longer mattered, I wish there was a way to skip or shorten the workday and focus directly on the remaining story content. Clonicle Board Up is not just any cooking game, it is a cozy, funny, and surprisingly heartfelt with lovable characters, charming art, enjoyable music, and gameplay that stays engaging for most of the experience. It does have some late game repetition, especially if you're trying to finish every character story after completing the main game, but that did not stop me from loving my time with it. Overall, I give Clonicle Board Up a huge recommendation. The wonderful cast of characters, story, and music blend well together to make it a delicious game to sink your teeth into and enjoy. I definitely won't be able to forget the ridiculous order from that one customer who asked for no soup, no noodles, and no meat. All that was left in the bowl were seasonings such as chopped chili and bean sprouts. It was a very wild ride preparing and serving that order. If I had one sentence to summarize my experience for Clonicle Board Up, it would be: came for the meatballs, stayed for the feels. And with that, if you have reached this part of the video, thank you very much for watching until the end. If you like what you're watching, do consider pressing the subscribe button and turning on the bell notification. I also stream on the Purple app, so if you like to watch my gameplay, do consider giving me a follow there as well. Links are in the description below. Lastly, do leave a comment if there is a game you would like me to play and cover. Once again, I'm Magic Flying Sheep, and thank you for watching this video.